Libra, sun, moon and rising signs. This is your message for the week ahead. One of the best spreads I've had of all the astrological signs this week. We're starting with a real amazing triptych of the Judgment card, the Knight of Wands and the Sun. So the Judgment card feels, well, it's very often the rebirth that comes from after the death card, and in this sense it feels like just a real shake off of stale energy, of stagnant energy, of all that dust, of all the things that may have been bringing you down, all of those things that have been making life feel perhaps a little bit stale. There feels to be a real rush of energy coming in for you this week. So with that coming an enthusiasm, a renewed sense of vitality, of energy, of excitement, really having a sense, particularly with the Knight of Wands, being able to charge ahead with your projects, with the things that make you excited, with your creativity, and particularly in conjunction with the Sun, that feeling partly unstoppable, but also you feeling full of confidence, full of vitality, full of the get up and go, the gumption in order to get things moving and get things ahead. And there's no use in kind of wondering where this renewed sense has come from, questioning whether it's going to be short-lived, if it's just, you feeling great and empowered and excited just for a short period of time. Forget all of that. Just really embrace it. It's a real sense of make hay while the sun shines here. Use this almost like a crest of a wave, almost like a surfboard, just catching that wave and moving ahead. Just using all the energies that are laid in front of you for this week to just charge through, to power through. The real sense, if you kind of procrastinate, if you dilly-dally, if you question, as I say, where this renewed sense of ambition, excitement and vitality is coming from, then you're likely to miss it. Then the wave is just likely to pass you by. So not necessarily a time to kind of question things, plan things, kind of reflect on them for long periods of time. Just get up and do. That would be my strongest advice. Just think, right, okay, what's next? Those mornings where you just seem to bound out of bed and just things seem to be going well? Well, that feels like your week ahead, really. So, use that to its fullest potential. The only danger here is that you're going to squander it. I suppose there's a little bit of a danger of overconfidence, but so just use your kind of, be sensible, be discerning as you're doing things. Don't just assume that it's a shoe-in. Don't count your chickens and all of that. But otherwise, it feels brilliant. And again, particularly with the Judgment card, this may very well feel overdue. It may feel like, a breath of fresh air is the phrase that comes to mind. And particularly as we've got the 10 of Pentacles here, which is Malkuth on the Tree of Life, it's where there are fruits of our labour, things becoming abundant, things becoming manifest. So there's a real sense of this week of things coming together, a real sense of accomplishment, achievement, all of that hard work paying off. Again, it's probably coming as a big relief for a lot of you, coming with a sigh of relief, because perhaps we've been waiting for this day to come where the tide finally turns and that kind of swell and that pressure finally breaks. So it's really, really lovely to say that. Again, we have the Knight of Wands. We've also got the King of Wands here. So these two big, strong wand energies. Wands obviously being about dynamicism, motivation, action, doing, belief systems, all of that stuff. Just having the get up and go to achieve what it is you want. So not a time to double guess it, question it, try and figure out, am I doing the right thing or not? Just go ahead. And as long as that doesn't kind of impede in other people's progress, or you feel that you're stampeding over people, then you can't really, really go wrong. A really great week to be achieving some of those long-term goals. you may very well find that things just seemingly slot into place for you this week, that things just kind of seem to work out. And again, embrace that, allow yourself to bask in all of that glory. The fact that you have the Sun card slap bang in the middle of your reading really indicates a time of freedom, a time of happiness, a time of expansion, a time of feeling really just very outward as well. This isn't a week for, as I say, reflection or deep inner work or figuring out what's going on emotionally. No, you've done that. Put that behind you. I feel that there's been a lot of integration going on, a lot of processing going on, and this is the result of that. So you've kind of put your ducks in a row, you've cleared the clutter, you've put everything where it needs to be. Again, it's a bit like, when we have a room or our bedrooms and they're really cluttered and it feels really stuffy and a bit chaotic, and then we tidy up and everything's in its place, and then we go, right, great. That's the feeling of it. So whether you do need a bit of a declutter in areas, in your home life, on your calendar, on your computer, whatever. But again, don't get lost in that process. This isn't a week for that. It's not a week of integration. All I'm saying is if there's just that final part to be done so that you can really put your mind at ease, put your mind at rest of going, right, that is done. That can be put aside. I don't need to think about that again. I don't need to pick that up again. This is all about looking forward, moving forward, and doing so in a really empowered and vivacious way. Again, particularly with the Judgment card, you may find that things resurface for you, but in a really positive aspect. So those things that you may find that seeds that you'd planted a long time ago are now starting to bud, are starting to push themselves above ground. And again, there's a lot of feeling of pleasant surprises here. Feeling kind of, gosh, I'd completely forgotten about that. How brilliant. Those times where, you have a bank account on your phone and you look in it and you realize that there's a bit of money in there. You're like, oh, fantastic. Oh, I thought that was empty. It's that kind of feeling this week of those seeds that have been planted a long time may very well resurface. So again, probably a good time to be looking behind the sofa, metaphorically speaking. Look through those old bank accounts, look through those drawers, look for those things that you had kind of gone off your radar for a while and thought, I wonder what happened to that person or that thing or that bank account, whatever it might be. But just looking at old seeds that you've planted that we've just assumed may have not blossomed or bloomed, and then we go back and then we realize that they're fully fecund and they've just taken over the garden. That's the real feeling of it. So the only little question for you to do really for this week is we don't want to just assume that any of this is going to happen. So what is going to help you kind of really embrace that pep, that newfound pep? What's going to allow you to kind of hit the ground running? Are there things that need to be cleared off the runway in order for that to happen? Or is there something about your routine? Do you need to get up slightly earlier? What is it that you need in order to feel that you can enact that motivation? Because if you're still worrying or you're kind of engaged and embedded in those nitty-gritty things that don't really matter, then it's going to slow down your progress this week. You're going to be like a fast-moving train. So we've got to make sure that there's nothing on the track that's going to impede that kind of process and impede that journey. So that's the only little point of reflection that you need to do. But otherwise, just go for it. That really can be your mantra for the week ahead. Just go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it. So as I say, one of the most positive spreads so far. So a huge congratulations if you're Libra in Sun, Moon or Rising. Have a wonderful, wonderful week and see you next time. Bye for now.